checking notes, all kinds of things, okay, in editor and so on. In fact, people can even start programming. So we in fact conducted a workshop for visually impaired people at IGNOU, Delhi, and all students, we had about 30 students. So each student was given a computer and a headphone. 30 students, 30 computers, 30 headphones. And in the morning it was chaotic because some computers were not working, headphones were not working, player was not working, and so on and so forth. But at 4 o'clock in the evening, there was a pin drop silence because everybody was listening to it over the headphone and then practicing, right? And of course, some people, although we had gone with 12 tutorials, not everybody finished all 12. Some people did 4, some people did 5, and so on. Maximum done was 7. But we realized that because these were created for self-learning, the children could go, take the CD, go home, and they could learn on their own. Because they only needed to know how to use that material. Once they learned how to use, they could do it on their own. Okay. So we did a similar workshop in Andhra, and unfortunately at that time we didn't have the dubbing in Telugu. There were many children who didn't know both English and Hindi. So at that time we realized that local language is actually very good. Second was Assam government decided to give free computers, has been giving free computers to children who come first in the 10th and 12th grade, and they saved 1,000 rupees on every computer. They distribute 20,000 computers, saving of 1,000 rupees. So there is a total saving of 2 crore, and which they invested in recruiting more people, buying better hardware and so on. But how did they do that? They gave Linux instead of Windows. Okay. Only thing is, many children didn't know how to use how to use Linux, and they used some illegal copy of Windows, and so virus came, and there were a lot of problems. So they said, is it possible for us to create a series of tutorials, which we did. But only after going there, we said that we would give these tutorials and in English, Hindi, Bengali, Assamese. We realized that maybe even if we didn't do Assamese, it would have been okay because the people could have understood Bengali. But the linguistic minority group, their Bodos, they could not understand Bengali, they cannot understand Hindi. Actually, you needed something like that. So what happens is, through this methodology, because only the voice is dubbed and it requires only 5% of the effort, you can make this available even the high-tech instructional material to linguistic minority groups, to Northeast, to people in Kashmir, and whatever. What we did was, the next one was PHP MySQL. We did a series of tutorials on PHP MySQL are useful to design web pages. In fact, we know that almost, if you can believe McKinsey's survey, about 75% of engineering graduates, MCA graduates don't get jobs. So I was just thinking, there are lots of people who would like to maintain their own web pages, who would like to recruit such people if only that expertise is available. These students don't get jobs because they learn very little in colleges. There are no good teachers. So we said, why don't we create a series of spoken tutorials on PHP MySQL, send it to every college, every MCA college, and say, encourage them to copy this, learn, and they would get jobs, right? So, so we did some calculation and found that it would possibly come to 25 rupees such a CD, 25 rupees, maybe 30 rupees, not more than 50 rupees anyway. So if I spend 1 lakh rupees, I can make this CD available to 2,000 colleges, okay? Even if a few students learn and benefit by this, they would, it will immensely benefit. So at that time, in fact, here I will talk about this collaborative creation. So there is a British person, Alex, who created a large number of spoken tutorials on PHP MySQL. After seeing our project, he said that we could dub this into our languages and freely distribute. So what we did was I asked my students my staff members to transcribe it, because our procedure involves transcribing the spoken part. Actually, we started the script. Script is created, we speak and record, movie is made, and then translate, and then voice is given, dubbing done. Okay? So we wanted script, whereas this fellow gave us ready, finished videos. So I asked our people, why don't you transcribe it? And even after listening to 10 times, my staff members could not understand what you were saying. Just see why.
Hi there, welcome to PHP Academy. I'm Alex, and in this first tutorial, the most basic tutorial.
Actually, it is not too difficult. It's not too difficult. But our people, because they were from rural areas, they found it difficult. They told me that they listened to it 10 times, but they could not. Then I found that our children in cities actually listen to Michael.
Welcome again. In this tutorial, we will learn the do-while loop. It is also called the do-while statement.
So, because these children actually listen to English movies, watch English movies, listen to Michael Jackson and so on, I said, can you do this, transcribe it? And the person who did this, whose voice you heard, is studying in 10th standard at IIT Bombay in Kendriya Vidyalaya. So here I am just actually pointing out the collaborative nature of this kind of effort, that you just need to find good people, maybe in just some pockets, and they come forward, they create, and this is going to be useful for lakhs of children, especially those from rural areas where the aspirations are very high. Because if you look at most of the MTech students, I would say in IIT Bombay definitely, maybe in all IITs, most of them would be from rural areas because of the aspiration. Okay, so dubbing, as I mentioned, dub only the audio, video remains the same. Effort to dub is only 5% of the original. Time required to speak in dubbing should be less than original. This is some guideline. Can provide advanced technology for linguistic minority groups. How to enable dubbing? Short and simple sentences. Do not speak fast. Leave a small pause, and so on and so forth. So this is our spoken tutorial framework. So what you see in the center is something common for every language. You see this videos, assignments, additional learning, exams, discussions, user examples, reviews, ratings, automated emails, and so on and so forth. These are common for that particular video. It's just that the audio comes in various languages, so which I have written as first language script, second. So each audio will have its own script. So I have said that there are n languages. In our case, we are looking at least 20 languages to make available all of these to all our children. So this is for one tutorial with additional study material and available in various languages. So this is one tutorial and it's of 10-minute duration. Okay. Now we would study a series of these to complete a workshop. Okay. For example, Orca, I said there are 12 such tutorials. So this is the family of spoken tutorials which is useful to conduct a workshop. So this is outline, brochures, workshops, etc. This is common for the entire thing, and it is based on M tutorials. So in Orca's case, there are 12 tutorials. How do we conduct workshops through spoken tutorials? Last few minutes I'll take to talk about our experience in using these for conducting these workshops. The traditional FOSS training workshops, we have conducted several workshops to teach IT to college teachers, and it is actually, if you pay TA, DA and so on, it is quite expensive, and it is also slow progress. We need to train 1 lakh teachers. It's expensive, it will take time also. So in fact, the ministry is actually looking for alternate solutions. Can we teach them faster? So then we looked at, as far as IT training is concerned, we eventually want to reach out to the students. We want to get the students trained. Training the teachers and asking the teachers to train the students is not necessarily efficient, because the students are a lot better in learning software. So we thought that it may actually be better to teach the students directly as opposed to going through teachers. Okay. Then if it is done, then it can be done in various colleges. So we thought that we would do this as event management. Every student club wants to do event management. It helps them get jobs. It helps get admission into MBA programs for organizers and so on. So can we make FAST training and event management program? This is what we are doing right now. The important thing to remember is the students can self-learn, because the spoken tutorials are created for self-learning. That is the reason why this is going to work. Another important thing is that the students can self-learn. They can learn at their own pace, because I told you WordCard tutorial, some people learned 4, some people learned 7. Because there are some children who start at a poor initial condition, but then they are willing, so long as they are willing to work hard, how does it matter where they start? The end point could be the same, right? They could work harder, and they can of course learn using a convenient language. So we have lots of these candidates for event management, and so I have come to the end of more or less this is what I wanted to say, that it is possible to do collaborate. It is possible to create this material collaboratively. It is possible to scale this up. In fact, I seem to have gone fast over this slide. We are looking at a cost of about 5,000 rupees to conduct one student workshop, and we expect a student workshop to train 50 students. So that means at a cost of 100 rupees per student per workshop, and there are 20,000 colleges in the country. We plan to write to all the principals and say, would you want your student clubs to participate in this? And then we have the material, we provide the methodology. In fact, we did a workshop in Alwar, Rajasthan recently. Our people just saw it through Skype. They did the whole thing. Our people are there. In case there were any questions, our people could answer them. This was a Linux workshop. And then we did a workshop, we did a test before the workshop and after the workshop. And then we arrived at 2 conclusions. One is that there was an 85% improvement in learning based on the answers average marks scored, number 1. Number 2 is we found that all the students passed the exam, the second exam, and hence we could actually give the certificate saying that they did this workshop and they are qualified. So I believe that this is a cost-effective way to spread FOSS in India. So we would like to create a large number of spoken tutorials. The size of a tutorial is about 0.5 to 1 MB per minute of recording. In one CD, one can store 10 to 20 hours of instruction. Just one CD that costs 8 rupees, cheaper than a notebook. So we invite everyone to partner with us, to assume the mentorship of some FOSS system, to create spoken tutorials on it, to help dub into local languages, and also to help encourage your students to participate. There is a honorarium of about 5,000 rupees to create one tutorial of 10-minute duration. Ministry is paying for it. To conclude, open source efforts are not only idealistic but make economic and commercial sense as well. Spoken tutorial is a cost-effective solution for IT literacy and employment. Imagine creating such a document in any other way, through PDF files and so on. It is apt to bridge digital divide. It can be created by community. It has the potential to make India a developed world, and this is our FOSS contribution to the world. Spoken tutorial is part of a Talk to a Teacher project supported by the National Mission on Education through ICT, MHRD, Government of India. By the way, you might have got a flyer that talks about AView. That AView is created by Amrita University, and that